What's up, it's stressfree. Back now with a Path of Exile 2 video. Grinding Gears finally gave us a preview of the monk class. Monks primarily use quarterstaffs. They use 3 types of elements: lightning, ice, and wind. You can of course combine different elements to create combos. Monks are a melee class that works on momentum. They dash in and out of combat. Here we have the example of a skill called Killing Palm. It's a level 7 skill that costs 12 mana. Its attack speed is 90% of base. Attack damage is 147%. Requires level 22, 30 dex, and 30 int to use. Can be used unarmed or with a quarterstaff. The skill dashes and strikes the enemy, calling them if their life is low enough. Enemies killed by the strike grant power charges. Additional effects on the skill are added physical damage, can be evaded, and 7% critical strike chance. Let's take a look how it works. After generating power charges, you can spend them on much stronger attacks. Monks have another combo skill called Tempest Bell. You can hit the bell and even freeze it or shock it, causing damage to splash. Here we have a preview of the skill called Staggering Palm. It empowers your staff. When the enemy is close to being stunned, it shoots out wind projectiles. Here we got a preview of another skill called Freezing Mark. It's a level 7 skill. It costs 53 mana, has a cast time of 0.50 seconds. It requires level 22, 30 dex, and 30 int. The skill marks the target, making them more susceptible to being frozen. When the marked target dies, a cold nova erupts from their corpse. This nova does not use weapon damage, and instead uses its own base attack damage. Its affixes are limit 1 marked target, mark duration is 8 seconds, hits against marked enemy cause 28% more freezing buildup. The monk has a total of 21 quarterstaff skills, so the possibilities are endless. Really cool class, can't wait to try it out. Next we're going to take a look at the warriors. Warriors have a slow but powerful attacks, and they specialize in using 2-handed maces, 1-hand maces, and shields. You can wind up slow attacks and retarget them. You can even cancel and dodge roll out of attacks. As for skills, there are Work Rise, Slams, Armor Breaks, Earthquakes, and fire attacks. Here we're going to take a look at a combo attack where you run the ground with lines of flames, and any slam causes the eruption to occur. You can use Stampede to cause a ton of damage. Warriors also can use Work Rise to empower their attacks, causing any slam to double damage. In Path of Exile 2, you can now even use shields to block attacks and even spells. Shields will function with a meter. Once the meter runs out, your stance will break and you'll be vulnerable. Enemies as seen here in the demo will have attacks that can't be blocked. They will telegraph this with a red glow. Wielding a shield gives you access to shield skills like Shield Charge. This allows you to charge towards enemies and stun them. While using Shield Charge, you're always blocking, giving you damage immunity from the front. Warriors also have access to totem skills. Here an example of a Shockwave totem that can stun enemies and trigger aftershocks. Here we're going to take a look at the Ancestral Warrior totem. It's a level 13 skill that costs 54 mana, requires level 52, 119 strength, 1-hand mace, or 2-hand mace. It has a duration of 8 seconds, limited to 1 totem. Base attack is 1 second. The totem uses its own weapons dealing physical damage. You can socket any mace skills into the gem and we'll use it. Here an example, you can socket a skill called Sunder. So once you summon a totem, it will auto-cast a skill from a distance. Warriors have 20 active mace skills, so you can have a ton of different combos. Now we're going to take a look at the Ranger, who specializes in using bow skills to attack from a distance. It's a mobile class who can shoot while moving. His bow skills come in categories of lightning, ice, poison, and physical attacks. Lightning attacks can bounce around the target and even stick to the ground. Here we got a preview of some of his skills. These attacks can even stun enemies. Ice attacks can slow and freeze enemies, keeping them away from you. You got one that leaps backs and shoots an ice arrow at enemies. Poison attacks let you slow enemies from a distance and even grow plants. These usually are damage over time type effects. Ranger comes with 21 bow and mobility skills that you can take advantage of. According to it does, by endgame you can shoot hundreds of arrows that can bounce between enemies and spray out of tornadoes. Looking forward to seeing the class in action. Next we're going to take a look at the Mercenary preview. Mercenaries use crossbows. These crossbows can be loaded with different type of ammos. In Path of Exile 2, all classes can now use WSD movement, so mercenaries will feel like you're playing a shooter. The skills that you'll come across will feel like shotguns, assault rifles, sniper rifles, and grenade launchers. They come with a variety of elemental ammos. You can quickly switch between these ammo types as long as you have them loaded. This allows you to combo abilities to wreak havoc on enemies. Here we're shown a skill called Glacier Bolt that creates a wall of ice. When you switch to fragmentation rounds that shatter the ice to do massive damage. Mercs also have a armor piercing round that helps break the armor, which you can follow up with a high velocity round. Next we have a gas grenade that poisons enemies, which also can be detonated with an explosive shot to cause massive AoE damage. Part of the Mercenary arsenal are artillery ballistas, though they have minimal range, so plan accordingly. Crossbows have 22 active skills, but in the game you'll be like Rambo, raining down on enemies with grenades and heavy machine gun fire. Next I have the preview of the Witch class, who specializes in minions. She summons undead hordes and curses enemies with powerful chaos spells. Witches use a new resource called Spirit, which helps summon minions. Minions are revived automatically when they die, so you won't have to worry about resummoning them. You can use a skill screen to allocate which minions will be part of your army. They all have Spirit cost. Skeletal warriors are cheap but weak, mostly used to distract enemies. You can also summon skeletal arsonists. They have command skills that allow you to detonate your own minions for more damage and area effect. To have bigger armies, you'll need a scepter. This is a new type of weapon that comes with even more spirit, which allows you to summon a lot more minions. Which also has a range of chaos spells that can spread disease among enemies, or even bone skills which impale them. Also, you can curse enemies to make them weaker for your minions to strike them down. Witches will have 25 occult skills that you can mix and match, becoming a general laying waste on the battlefield. Now let's take a look at the sorcerers. They specialize in elemental magic, which you can cast from afar. Sorceress has skills like fireballs, ice explosions, and lightning storms. Every spell is unique and has multiple ways to combo with other spells. You can even mix elements together. Here is an example of a firewall skill that casts a burning line on the floor. Any projectile you cast through it will be empowered by extra fire damage. So sorcerers can take advantage of swapping weapons when using certain skills. For example, you can have a staff that gives bonuses to fire skills, then swap the staff that gives bonuses to lightning skills. Here we have an example of a trigger skill that sorcerers can take advantage of. It's called Cast on Ignite. It's a level 14 skill that uses 60 spirit reservation. It requires level 58 and 133 intelligence. While active, gains energy when you ignite enemies and triggers socketed spells on reaching maximum energy. Next, you can take the Firestorm spell and socket it into your trigger gem. When you ignite enemies, a counter will go up, and when it's full, you'll autocast the Firestorm. Sorceress has 25 active elemental skills. You can take advantage of creating devastating combos. If you guys made it this far, be sure to like and subscribe for more PoE2 content. I appreciate all the support. Until next time.